Howdy guys. Alright, this is day 2 of the hand cutting.
Hi everybody, I think you're going to love this video. Okay, I'm kind of concocting this video together and I'm like, one thing that I didn't cover in this, in the actual video, what's going on in the video, that I thought I need to cover here is, by the time this video's over, now I'm normally trying to stay politically correct and all this good mess, you know me, logger way to politically correct guy. But I do get on a rant over cutter chaps. And I want to go on here and apologize in advance if you get offended. If you're a cutter chap connoisseur and you get offended from this, I'm not sorry that I said it, but I'm sorry that it offends you. Does that help? Okay, so anyways, and the other thing is Roger don't answer his CV. And I'm like, it was so funny that I caught it. I caught it all on here. I caught Roger not answering his CB. Right on the video. I thought, now this is comical. So I had to leave it on here. Roger, I love you, buddy. If you watch this, don't get aggravated. Bev, don't show him the video. Thanks, guys. I hope you love it.
Finished cutting the end of this knob. And I've actually, after all this farting around, I'm finally getting into some daggone gravy. So we're going to enjoy some good cutting this morning. Boy, that's a welcome sign. Listen to that hot saw moaning over there. Gotta love that. Derek's been having to redo a bunch of chainsawing too, so it's slowing down production. Both hot saws is down in certain situations, you know. We'll keep the footage up as long as I can keep him hot sawing more. He's got a long knob. Once he finishes up that little spot they're in, a couple humps over, he's going down a long knob. It lays flat, and him and Junkie's gonna do a bunch of hot sawing. This is about the last day. I think I finally get so aggravated at my daggone poor old Puddin. I finally get in there and start doing some doctoring and getting this thing running again. It took me a while. It just keeps falling on its face. What's going on is that coating's eating off the throttle cable. The way a cable works, you know, you got your outside coating on the cable, and you hold that on each end, and then when you pull on the whatever mechanism you're pulling, and then whatever mechanism gets pulled on the other end of wherever your cable's at, it's got to hold against that tube so it, when you pull the cable, it sucks in or pulls out or whatever, you know. And if your outside tube starts rotting away like it is on Puddin here, then next thing you know, son of a bucking, what's MLH say? Let's see, MLH says, Roger just trying to put a decent set. I have to check back in there. Big words. That's a nice lay. But I spun it. Daggone it.
Hello, you want that, Stevie? That'll work. Go in there, Phil. Yes, go ahead. What kind of time-wise you think you got down there before you get in the truck? Oh, hell, probably half hour, 20 minutes, a half hour yet. Okay, I'm just gonna keep on cutting up in, that way I got something when you get in the truck. Okay. Cut that one in two for you, junkyard, because there wasn't no way in hell you could get that around that corner. I took that first big one, I dropped it, and then I backed up to the zoo and got hold of it and pulled it up to swing it. That's what I was gonna do with that one you swung, Bubba. Do maintenance work tomorrow, put that new shock on here and just wait till tomorrow to grease the skidder. The air filter on it, I know it ain't been cleaned. bring you extra pair of pants so when you get that big cottonwood.
Okay, stepping back in here with the voiceover, leaving them shallow notches like I like to do most of the time. You gotta be careful. If you spin the tree, you're gonna pop a slab. So you got to be. Now, the reason I like the shallow notches is less cutting into the tree. It's more time. It gets you quicker. It's quicker. That's why I do it. It's quicker. But anyways, the son of a buck, if you let it spin or something silly like that, it'll pop a slab. So you got to kind of watch or cut yourself corners or whatever, let them pop free or what have you. Now this here poplar, I'm doing a swinging Dutchman on. I think. Let's just see what we get into here. I'm kind of editing this and kind of talking out my butt as I go. Yeah, I am, because I want to end up on the other side. I get down there close to this gas line there for when I cut a bee tree or something. I remember that. It's been a while. This is good ways up into October, and I'm editing when I'm cutting here of 2020, and I'm editing here on the January the 16th. Y'all probably ain't gonna see it till February, so where's that put us? See that water come out of the tree? You gotta move your leg and oh man, get your pee pants going. And well, that's poplar. I was gonna say red oak stinks when it. And this poor old saw. Now it's January the 16th when I'm editing this. And on January 16th, I actually rebuilt. Stevie got me a kit and stuff, and I rebuilt Puddin today. And advanced the timing 12 degrees. I did a hillbilly pork job. I'm not no saw man, so. Put a new carburetor on it. Welded all my crap shut on the exhaust. On the muffler, I had holes in the muffler. New jug piston, new crank, new rod and crank, new bearings, new coil. I said new carburetor, didn't I? New fuel line. Fuel line had a hole in it too. I guess that's about it. Kind of awkward cutting that one loose. Ended up leaving too big a hinge. See, I popped a corner out of that one. I done that by being lazy, not getting around there and cutting my wood off. Daggone beech limbs to drive me up the wall. Cut the whole tree off. That son of a bucking beech ain't worth a pot full of pee or the wind of the, you know. Come on. This is leaning away from that other one. Trying to work my butt off to get them all to lay downhill like they're supposed to. Some of these are fighting me. Some of them's going like a piece of cake. Others are fighting me. It's just hard to get them laid out just right, the way you want them laid out for the skidder. And still be quick and still be all this knickknacks about it. Problem when you're chase cutting like I'm doing right here is you got to have a saw that keeps up with the tree. And this freaking saw is so slow, it won't keep up the tree right now. And I'm pulling fibers. Look at that. Look at that stump. Jesus. Not that it's Jesus' a problem, but son of a buck. See that? I couldn't keep up the tree. That's why the tree outran me, because my saw's going slow.
Well, I'm being hard on fibers this morning, but I'm pulling them away from their lean. Try to get them all straight down the hill. Roger can grab them and truck them right out of here. Them's pretty much top themselves. I'll top that poplar way out the bottom. I'm in about the mid-range here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this gas jug. I don't have my throw jugs today because they don't pack enough gas for full-time cutting. I'm gonna put this gas jug right about here. As I come through here, I'll clean this bench up, and then I'm heading across. I gotta jump to one ridge. I gotta do that next ridge. Well, we're off to a good start today. Today continues like it started, and it's gonna be a pretty good day.
Now you notice how I start, this tree's gonna open up. See how it's opening up the crack? Watch the crack up top. You buzz around the outside of the wood in the beginning, because that's the wood that's gonna do your stringy ding dinging. You know, you wanna finish in the center of the tree, not the outside, because that's what peels, and that cambium layer or whatever, that area, that's not the cambium layer doing that, but that's the area. The fresh wood, the wood gets thrown on layers, you know, around. That's how the rings of a tree works, you know. So your fresher rings on the outside of the tree, them's the ones that leaves your stronger or your longer fibers when they pull away from each other and splits easier and stuff like that. So you try to make sure as you're cutting, set my brake up there. And this is a red oak tree, by the way. One of the things to keep in mind when you're cutting, those of you that might be watching this for a little inspiration, of course there's a bunch of us on here now. You can get timber cutting information from anybody, and you should from everybody. If you're cutting timber, if you're running a sling and chainsaw right now to make a living in this day and age, you need to be taking notes from everybody. Everybody's going to have good, check their merits. You don't want to listen to somebody that ain't got merits. But I'm not saying be hog-headed and don't take any advice. But you want to take advice from somebody without merits with a grain of salt, because they haven't had to survive. When it cutting timbers, I don't know how to explain that. If you're talking to a timber cutter, now all of us that are still standing here has been cutting timber for a lot of years. Luck's been a pretty big deal, but I don't totally believe in luck. But there is, you know, there's certain things factors that's going to get you killed, and people that understands them factors. And I get a lot of people get on my butt because I don't wear chaps, and I don't wear these, I don't wear face screen, I don't wear chaps, I wear hearing protection, but I don't wear face screen, I don't wear chaps. You know, everybody gets on my butt, you know. I'm not going to say I'm standing here because of just good decisions. So I'm not telling you to sit there and follow anything I say with it. You can take what I say with a grain of salt, just like you do the next guy. I'm not sitting there trying to make a spiel, trying to convince you to listen to me. That's why I don't talk about this stuff. And everybody, you know, well, tell us what you think. No, I don't need to be teaching nobody how to do nothing. the jury's still out on whether I know what the hell I'm doing, you know. But I have survived doing this for a lot of years, and that some of that's luck and some of that wasn't an accident. But the point I'm trying to make here is that people gets on me for not wearing cutter timber chaps. Yeah, that was the tree. That was the bee tree. There's bees in that red oak tree top. When I was cutting that tree, you seen them bees around it? They're them honeybees. But it's first thing in the morning, the honeybees is kind of lazy. You know, you try that stuff in the middle of the day, you get a little different outcome. You know. Now this is a poplar. I'm Humboldting it down over the hill. Now Humboldt, a lot of these is going down over the hill with momentum. Poplar. Let's take poplar into consideration. I'm not fighting the lean on this poplar a lot. I'm probably doing 40 degrees. A pretty straight tendon tree. You know, I might be pulling at 40 degree from the lean, but the lean ain't a hard lean. Poplar's a easy standing tree. It's a straight standing tree. The reason I'm Humboldting this going down over the hill like this is, first of all, the Humboldt notch ain't affecting my stump height much because I'm going downhill with it. The other thing is when this poplar goes downhill, it's going to make a spilly splat. And when that top hits the ground with momentum and power, you want the butt of this tree to not be on that stump. And if you don't Humboldt it, there's no guarantee in the geometry of the way things work down here on the stump that butt of that tree will not be setting up on that stump when the top hits the ground. You want it in the dirt on a brittle tree, because when you put the butt in the dirt, it lays that tree flat on the ground and it don't bust. If you still got it supported up on a stump where it's got something like an anvil, you know, when you're smacking something with a hammer on an anvil, you know, that's how you're going to bust it loose. So you don't want it on an anvil. You want it sitting on a piece of rubber. You see what I mean? And that's basically how that concept, basically how that works. You know, you want the butt of the tree on the ground. So when that top splats and hits hard, it don't destroy the whole body of the tree from the shock value. I was checking to see if that tree's sitting back on me, I think. By jiggling that wedge, I could feel that tree slowly inching forwards. And it's loosening up on the wedge instead of tightening up on the wedge. That's what that was about.
Nice to hear that hot saw running.
Not in the machine, are you, Wade?
No, but I hear you. I hear you, Kenny. What's up? Somebody relay.
What you got, Joanne? Yeah, he is. And what about the cylinder? Hear me? I have to relay it. Oh, okay. They're going to make it the new rod, and he just wanted to make sure that we had the piston and the gland and everything coming at Herb, and I'm pretty sure he does.
Yeah.
Get a copy on it, Wade?
Yeah, I got all that stuff coming.
Yes, Joanne, he does have all that stuff coming. He heard you. You just can't hear him. Although, and I know the last Sunday, so we think we're all right. He's not sure he'll have the thing put back together Monday, but he's going to try it all top, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm down here on the other side. More poplar trees going downhill, and then we're going to start into another Humboldt stump. And I want you to watch the butt of this tree when it falls. If I show it, I can't tell if I show it in this edit or not. I'm sure I do because I turn around and watch the tree. But watch the butt on these Humboldt notches. The butt will get chucked down on the ground. Of course, Uncle Buck and Billy Ray knows all about this stuff. You know, any West Coaster you talk to, this stuff's elementary to them, you know. But anyways, let me get back to subject with these daggone cutter pants that I get grilled on all the time. You know. And I've been told there's companies that won't work with Logger Wade because of my safety thing with these cutter pants. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am a timber cutter. I am not a tree trimmer. When I'm cutting timber, and I've done it for a lot of years, I got a track record. And I know a lot of loggers in our area that does, and I don't know one of them that wears damn chaps. Not a one of them. Not a one of them. Now, where does that matter mount into the daggone system of judging people for not wearing chaps? But anyways, the thing, and none of them died from getting cut with a chainsaw. Every one of them died from getting smashed with a tree. See how I throwed that butt on the ground? Now you tell me, and I've had lots of arguments with people on all these damn cutter chaps. Sorry for the language. But I'm sick of that crap. I've heard enough of it, and anybody that, you know, and I'm sure if I was cutting firewood and I was training rookies to cut firewood, I'm sure I'd be chapping, I'd be talking cutter chaps all over. Hell, I'd have them wear bulletproof underwear for that matter. But when it comes to cutting timber, and now you're talking to a man that's carted a few out. I've never carted a dead one out, but I've carted a few of them out and put them on helicopters. And I'm sitting there telling you, cutter chap talk, this cutter chap mess is a freaking mess. It's a bunch of bull, and I don't buy into it not one daggone second. And there's no guarantee that I'm going to live through this either. There's no guarantee of that. Now, I'm doing everything I can to limit my daggone exposure and all this mess to where I don't turn into a statistic. But I can guarantee you right now, I've been stitched up twice from getting cut in the leg with a chainsaw. No, stitched up. No, I never did get stitched up because I wasn't in time. Sorry. I should have had stitches once, but I've been cut in the leg twice with a chainsaw. And that was when I was young, and I wasn't very strong. Yeah, I was young, and I wasn't very strong, and I wasn't used to the physics of the way a chainsaw works, as far as the kickback, the way things works together, as far as the struggle of power and stuff like that in a chainsaw. But once you figure that out, so anyways, what I'm trying to say is, Logger Wade may turn into a statistic someday. I may bite the bullet from making a mistake. But I'll guarantee you, it won't be from getting cut in the leg with a freaking chainsaw. Now listen to what I'm telling you. A man doing this job can get killed from getting smashed. And he ain't gonna be cut, and he ain't gonna be buried. He ain't gonna be from getting cut in the leg with a chainsaw. And these people that buy this, and there's gonna be statistics done someday, and they're gonna be like, whoa, daggone, chaps ain't that important when it comes to cutting timber. We're actually helping getting people killed from making them wear chaps because they can't get away from the danger. You know, to me, anything, when I get ready to do something dangerous, first thing you'll see me do is take all my stuff off.
Straighten him up, Bill. Straighten it up, there you go.
Robin gets back, Joni, I can put him on a skidder back here. I got a bunch of wood on the ground.
Okay, got a copy.
Okay, I'm back. Back to the rant. Oh, this is good. I'm sorry, I want to get this off the chest for a long time. And I kind of went away from it because my answer to the chap solution and problem and all that stuff was to get Brutus. And that is working. But I don't think I'll get cut running Brutus. But now that I'm back to sawing, it comes back to mind. You know, in the struggles I've done and the people I've argued with and the people that supports that ideology that has this argument with me. And I love having this argument. Oh, I love having this argument. Because I can eat them up. By the time it gets done, they're like, well, you're supposed to wear chaps. You know what I mean? I'm like, no. Says who? Who says? The insurance company? How many of them, how many people dies from getting cut in the leg with a chainsaw? All right, now look up the statistic for how many of them dies by getting the crap smashed out of them with a tree. All right, now, and I'm telling you this from experience because I have done this multiple times. How many of them, you can't wake them up from the dead, but how many of them, if you wake them up from the dead, says the last 2 seconds that they was alive, all I could think is, I got to get out of here. Well, hey, how about we put this piece of cloth that does nothing but hinder your mobility, and let's hang it on your legs, because ain't that your exit plan with your legs? So let's hang something that hinders your mobility to get away from the danger. It's like, well, no, we couldn't put shackles on them, because if we shackle their legs, if we shackle their legs, it'd be too obvious. Well, let's take a piece of cloth and let's hang a piece of cloth on their legs that hinders their movement, to where they might be able to just get out. That's what I hate about chaps, and I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the inventor of chaps. I hate chaps, and I think the safety programs that forces you to wear chaps when you're cutting timber is a stupid ideology. People's mindlessly following ideology, and it's stupid. Now, if you're doing some other things, I can understand. If you're, I don't climb trees. I don't claim to know anything about climbing trees. You'd have to ask Uncle Buckin about that. He knows a lot about it. Let me tell you something. When Uncle Buckin says something, you can take it to the freaking bank. He's been there and he's done that. Or Nutsy. I think Nutsy wears chaps. He has to, because these ideologies force him to do this stuff. But I'm going to tell you, I've been there, I've done that, and so far I've lived through it. But my life ain't over yet. I'll have to rekindle that on my deathbed. But it's a stupid ideology, and that's why I don't wear chaps, because I value my life too much. There, rant over. So anyway, this is a red oak tree. I'm topping it out, and the fibers run down the tree lengthwise. You see how I'm making these slices? And the reason is because I want this limb to ride out with Roger or Robin on the skidder, because they're going to drag the top out, because we'll cut it up for mulch. And this top leader, this top and the bottom leader towards my legs there, will probably make pallet wood. But when it gets out to Stevie, I want Stevie to reach up with his din and pop that loose. If he pulls up on it, and he'll pop it right loose, but it'll ride out on the skidder without making it slapping off, and busting it. That's why I done that cut there. And what are we doing here? This is a poplar tree, and we're doing a normal notch. And I don't do my deep notches. I make plenty of mistakes. I'm not trying to. When I did that rant, I feel bad about making a rant, but I'm going to leave the rant on here. But when I make that rant, I'm not claiming to know everything. I'm not claiming to be some kind of Einstein. I just got my quirks about me. And it's not from... And nobody told me not to wear chaps. Nobody told me it's not cool to wear chaps. Nobody tells me this stuff. I come up with that on my own. And so I'm not being manipulated or following an ideology myself. I'm making my own decision, and I'm thinking on it. Now, I don't know why I should have Humboldted that one. Because you see them trees laying up there, there's a chance it could have busted. That butt should have been on the ground. This is an ash, by the way, and it's probably got some death on the top. These ash trees are dangerous. Those timber cutters out there cutting ash trees. My hat's off to you guys. I'm only doing this because my Brutus is messed up. And I feel for these poor loggers that's got to cut these daggone things with look at that, beating on with the wedge. I never even looked up. Or I did look up. Okay, the reason I looked up there was you beat on this stem with a wedge, anything loose is going to break off and come down and try to smash you. I would try to do, obviously this thing had enough back lean or something to where I wanted that wedge in there. Or I would have pulled like a swinging Dutchman or something. I don't know why I didn't do like a swing Dutchman on this. Maybe I was just in a hurry and I just thought, well, heck it, I'll wedge it over instead of trying to judge it. Or maybe it's so straight standing I didn't want to make a judgment on the lean. You know, if you're going to pull off a swinging Dutchman, you got to know exactly where your lean is. You can't guess where it almost is. You have to know where to. So you get a straight standing tree, you're almost better off just to wedge it over and be done with it. Or go through the time it takes to take them mental calculations and stuff to try to accommodate where the lean is actually at. Because you cannot be wrong on the lean if you're going to do a swinging Dutchman. Because you're cutting off almost all the tree. And when you do that, you lose control of the tree if you're wrong. Whew. See, I should have done a Humboldt on that one. I don't know what I was thinking. My Humboldt, I guess I just not thinking Humboldt when I walked up on that hillside. I don't know. Them both should have been Humboldted. They was downhill cuts, and they was brittle trees, and I was throwing them on top of other trees. And if that don't spell Humboldt, I don't know what does. Now, if they was red oak, well, if they was hickory or something, it wouldn't matter, but hi, how y'all doing? Camera adjustment, I guess. I don't know why I didn't edit this out, but I'm not going to edit it out now because I'm doing a voiceover, so y'all just going to have to deal with that. Or change the channel. See, all these woods is going to go up the valley behind me. So the skidders is going to back down and then pluck them out and pull them behind me on out the valley. And I'm shortening this one up. This is a dead obvious change in grade. The double heart starts there, so I went ahead and cut it. It might screw up the, you know, sometimes this is a problem because you box in the timber, the person bucking up the wood in the yard because you box them in and they can't lengthen out. You know, they might need 4 inches to make a cut work out, and you didn't give them that 4 inches or 6 inches or whatever to make your, so you end up being a little wasteful with your wood in there. It, you know, but I made that calculation, and I'm like, it's a logging calculation to where we can get these. It's the only way to get these woodses extracted out of here properly was to shorten it, in my opinion. Now, I'm not topping a lot of these because Stevie's doing that with the dendit.
About it, Robin, you here yet? Anybody Robin on the skidder yet?
I've not seen him, boys.
That's a negatory then.
Yep.
Raji, can you hear me? Oh, Joe! Stevie, can you get Roger's attention? Have him holler at me.
He's jamming out on the radio.
Copy that. Tune in Tokyo.
He's up there twerking a while ago.
Twerk, twerk, twerk.
Tanner said answer your damn radio. Sound like he was awful pissed. You better go back there and find out what he wants.
Joe!
I told him.
Joe! Can you hear me, Joe? Oh, Joe! Hey, could you grab my bag out of that big skidder? Make one more drag, and then come pick me up on the walnut knob, and me and you'll move over and let Robin have this.
Hey, can't hear you. Cutting in and out.
Can't hear me now. Hello? Hey, get my bag out of that big skidder. Get another drag, and then pick me up on the walnut ridge, and we'll move. Keep it out of your butt. He puts it in his butt. He likes it in his butt. Ah, Joe puts it in his butt. Come on. Dump him down. Dump him down. I'll rev up my saw. Just drop it on it. Oh, Ty. Wobbly. That's the tree I thought he was cutting. That big wide. No, it's a red oak there. Condensator. Woof. Woofy poofy. They're about done too. They can't have many more trees.